Next topic. 0. The OPCUA-Oubliette, A Historian's Prison 2. Chapter 12, The OPCUA-Oubliette, A Historian's Prison. Alice descended into a vast, echoing dungeon where OPCUA servers loomed like ancient stone monoliths, their information models etched in cryptic hieroglyphics. The air hummed with binary-encoded telemetry, and chained to the walls were data historians, endlessly recording but never forgetting. The keeper of metadata, a hooded figure. All data must be structured, namespaced, secured, or it shall be cast into the void of malformed nodes. Cheshire Cat, materializing from a certificate chain. Alice. OPCUA is the cathedral of industrial protocols, powerful, but labyrinthine. Classical building. The OPCUA-Oubliette's architecture. 1. The three pillars of OPCUA. Pillar purpose. Alice's translation information model defines nodes, objects, variables. A library where every book has a UUID. Security certificates, AES 256, sign and encrypt, a moat, a dragon, and a secret handshake. Transport. TCP, OPCUA binary, or HTTPS, JSON, pigeons, binary, or parrots, JSON, dot. Mad Hatter, fuming. Why must a temperature sensor have a namespace? Yuri. 2. The prisoners of the Oubliette. Data historians scroll record time series data, example factory. Temperature every second, forever. Danger, fills storage like a hoarding dragon. Alarms and events. Warning, motor _1 overheat at 2024-03-15T14:2233Z, never forgotten, never forgiven. Alice, so, if a sensor fails, its shame is etched in history. Keeper of metadata, yes. Data is eternal. Magnifying glass tilted left. Debugging the Oubliette. Case 1, client can't browse the address space, scroll symptoms, bat_nodiad unknown when reading ns equals 3, s equals machine 7/temperature. Wireshark shows TCP SYN, but no ACK. Hammer and wrench fix, check namespace indexes, ns equals 3 might not match the server's model. Verify firewall rules, OPCUA uses port 4840 by default. Update the client's certificate, expired? Revoked. Case 2, data historian is swallowing all disk space, scroll symptoms, server logs, disk full. Historian stopped recording. 10 TB of boiler. Pressure samples from 1997. Hammer and wrench fix, configure retention policies, keep 1 year, not 100. Enable compression, OPCUA supports lossless compression. Archive cold data, move 1997 data to cheaper storage. Case 3, alarms won't clear, scroll symptoms, pump_failure alarm triggered 3 years ago, still active. Hammer and wrench fix, check alarm act state, was it acknowledged but not reset. Review shelving state, some alarms auto snooze. Server bug. OPCUA stacks aren't perfect. Crossed swords. OPCUA versus MQTT, Cathedral versus Bazaar, feature OPCUA Castle. MQTT camping data model rigid, nodes, metadata, flexible, raw topics, security. X.509, AES 256, RBACTLS, optional, basic auth use case. Industrial machinery. IoT telemetry. Complexity high, steep learning, low, easy to deploy, queen of industry, decrease. OPCUA for factories. MQTT for toasters. Top hat. Alice's OPCUA cheat sheet. Problem solution. Node ID not found. Verify namespace, browse address space. Historian disk full. Set retention policies, compress data. Stuck alarms. Check act state / shelving state. Lightbulb. The final lesson, escaping the Oubliette. OPCUA is powerful but punishing its structure ensures interoperability, but misconfigured nodes or historians can trap you forever. Respect the metadata, mine the certificates, and limit historian greed. Cheshire Cat, fading into a secure channel now, shall we decode the ASN.1 abyss? Or face the Modbus Minotaur. Choose your next adventure, Cyclone Next, the ASN.1 Abyss, a binary encoding labyrinth ox, or the Modbus Minotaur, a register beast 3. Next topic. 0. The ASN.1 Abyss, a binary encoding labyrinth 2. Chapter 13, the ASN.1 Abyss, a binary encoding labyrinth. Alice stood at the edge of a yawning chasm, its walls lined with purr, dir, and purr encoded runes glowing faintly in the darkness. Below, a Turing-complete grammar whispered in recursive loops, defining everything from X.509 certificates to SNMP packets. A skeletal figure, the ASN.1 compiler, beckoned her forward with a bony hand. ASN.1 compiler, in a reedy voice: to proceed, you must define all types, or be lost in ambiguity forever. Cheshire Cat, materializing from a TLV tag. Alice. ASN.1 is the hidden language of protocols, powerful, but inscrutable. Cyclone. The layers of the ASN.1 Abyss. 1. The 3 encoding schemes. Scheme name. Use case. Alice's translation. BER. Basic encoding rules: flexible, but bulky, like XML, a verbose scribe. DER. Distinguished encoding rules: strict BER, for security, a scribe with OCD. PER. Packed encoding rules: compact, for bandwidth, a scribe who writes in shorthand. Mad Hatter, fuming: why does a boolean need 8 bytes in BER? 2. The TLV, type length value, Minotaur. Every ASN.1 object is a tag length value triplet. Tag, what is it? Example: integer, sequence. Length, how big is it? Value, the actual data. Example: SNMP oid in BER. Text tag, 0x06, oid, length, 0x05, value, 0x2b, 0x06, 0x01, 0x02, 0x01 / encodes oid 1.3.6.1.2.1, SNMP MIB2, Alice, asterisk. So. TLV is like labeling a sandwich bread 5 cm wheat. Asterisk. Cheshire Cat, exactly. Ender ensures the bread never has crumbs. Magnifying glass tilted left. Debugging the Abyss. Case 1, my X.509 certificate won't parse. Scroll symptoms, open SSL errors, unable to load certificate / bad tag. Hex dump shows 3082010A, sequence, length 266, but malformed data. Hammer and wrench fix, verify encoding, is it PEM, ASCII, or DIR, binary? Convert with, text open X509 inform PEM insert.PEM outform DIR outsert.dir check for truncated data, length field is not equal to actual bytes. Case 2, SNMP get request returns garbage, scroll symptoms, Wireshark shows get request with OID 1.3.6.1.2.1.1.1.0, but agent replies no _ such _ name. Hammer and wrench fix, verify OID encoding, did you miscount arcs, 1.3.6.1.2.1 equals MIB2. Check ASN.1 tags, SNMP uses 0x40 for get request PDU. Case 3, LDAP bind fails with ASN.1 error, scroll symptoms, Wireshark shows LDAP bind request, but server replies protocol error. Hammer and wrench fix, check BER / DIR encoding, LDAP uses BER, some servers reject invalid lengths. Verify SASL mechanisms, if using TLS, ensure start TLS is properly wrapped in ASN.1. Crossed swords ASN.1 versus JSON, Abyss versus Playground, feature ASN.1 Cyclone JSON Beach with umbrella encoding binary, compact, text, human readable, schema strict, must predefine, flexible, freeform, use case certificates, SNMP, LDAP web APIs, config files. Debugging requires hex editor readable in Notepad. Queen of protocols, decrees use ASN.1 for machines. JSON for humans. Top Hat Alice's ASN.1 cheat sheet problem solution. Bad tag errors. Verify encoding, ber/dir/pem, oid parsing fails count arcs correctly, 1.3.6.1.2.1, length mismatches check byte alignment, perverses dir, lightbulb. The final lesson, surviving the abyss. ASN.1 is the hidden backbone of secure protocols, but its binary nature invites despair. Respect the TLV, validate lengths, and when lost reach for a hex editor. Cheshire Cat, vanishing into a sequence now, shall we confront the Modbus Minotaur? Or brave the Protobuf Labyrinth? Choose your next adventure. Ox next, the Modbus Minotaur, a register beast scroll, or the Protobuf Labyrinth, a schema shapeshifter. 3, next topic. 0. The Modbus Minotaur, a register beast. 2. Chapter 14, the Modbus Minotaur, a register beast. Alice stepped into a dim, echoing industrial hall, where rows of PLC devices stood like ancient stone monoliths. At the center loomed the Modbus Minotaur, a hulking beast with coil horns and holding register claws, its labyrinthine data tables stretching into the shadows. Modbus Minotaur, snarling, who dares read my input registers without permission? Cheshire Cat, materializing from a TCP packet. Alice. Modbus is simple, until the Minotaur mixes up coils and registers. Gear the Modbus Minotaur's domain 1. The 4 data tables: table type, address, range, function codes, coils, read write 00001-09999901, read, 05, write single, 15, write multiple, discrete inputs, read only 10,001 to 19,999 read, holding registers, read write 40,001 to 49,999 read, 06, write single, 16, write multiple, input registers, read only 30,001 to 39,999 read, Alice. So 40,001 is a holding register, but 30,001 is an input register. Cheshire Cat, yes. And woe to those who confuse them. 2. The Minotaur's two faces, RTU versus TCP. Modbus RTU, serial, runs on RS485/RS232. Uses CRC16 for error checking. Slave IDs, 1 to 247, replace IP addresses. Modbus TCP, Ethernet, uses port 502. Replaces slave ID with a unit identifier, but often ignored. No CRC, TCP handles integrity. Mad Hatter, yelling, why does RTU use big endian but my PLC uses little endian? Magnifying glass tilted left, debugging the Minotaur's labyrinth. Case 1, read request returns garbage, scroll symptoms, request, unit ID 0300000002, read holding registers 40,001 to 40,002. Response, C18302, exception, illegal data address. Hammer and wrench fix, check address mapping, is 40,001 really 0x0000 in the PLC? Verify NDNS, swap bytes if needed, 0x1234 rightward arrow 0x3412. Confirm register type, holding versus input. Case 2, write fails silently, scroll symptoms, request, 050001FF00, write coil 00002 equals on. No error, but the coil stays off. Hammer and wrench fix, check coil numbering, is 00002 actually 0x0001 in the request. Verify write protection, some coils are read-only in firmware. Test with write single register, 06, to isolate the issue. Case 3, RTU CRC errors, scroll symptoms, serial sniffer shows 01030000000185F, CRC equals 0x85F. Device replies, no response or CRC mismatch. Hammer and wrench fix, recalculate CRC, tools like crmod help. Check baud rate/parity, must match device settings. Swap A/B wires, RS485 polarity matters. Crossed Swords Modbus vs BACnet, Minotaur vs OPC-UA, feature Modbus gear BACnet office building complexity simple, registers only, complex, objects, metadata, security none, plain text, TLS, certificates, BACnet/SC, use case PLCs, sensors building automation NDNS big endian, usually, configurable queen of industry, decrease Modbus for motors. BACnet for thermostats. Top Hat Alice's Modbus cheat sheet problem solution illegal data address check register type plus PLC mapping silent write fails verify coil numbering plus write protection CRC errors recalculate CRC, check serial settings light bulb the final lesson, taming the Minotaur Modbus is brutally simple, but its lack of metadata invites chaos. Respect the register types, mind the NDNS, and always check serial settings or the Minotaur will gore your packets. Cheshire Cat, vanishing into a holding register now, shall we decode the protobuf labyrinth? Or face the MQTTSN fog? Choose your next adventure, scroll next, the protobuf labyrinth, a schema shapeshifter fog or, the MQTTSN fog, a wireless Mirage 3. Next topic. 0. The MQTTSN fog, a wireless Mirage. 2. Chapter 15, the MQTTSN fog, a wireless Mirage. Alice wandered into a dense, rolling fog where MQTTSN clients flickered like will-o'-the-wisps, their signals fading in and out of the mist. The air buzzed with low-power radio waves, and at the heart of the haze stood the MQTTSN gateway, a spectral figure translating whispers into MQTT and back again. MQTTSN gateway, echoing topics, shortened, sleep intervals, unknown. Cheshire Cat, materializing from a UDP packet. Alice. MQTTSN is MQTT slim cousin optimized for sleepy, battery-powered devices, if they don't get lost in the fog. Fog. The rules of the MQTTSN fog. 1. MQTTSN versus MQTT, key differences feature MQTT camping MQTTSN fog transport TCP UDP, or even LoRa. Topic names full strings, home/kitchen/temp, short topic IDs, example 0x01, keep alive ping, TCP keep alive, advertise messages, gateway heartbeat, sleep support crossmark no white heavy check mark yes, sleeping clients, Mad Hatter, fuming why must we shorten topics to hex codes. Cheshire Cat, because batteries hate long strings. 2. The gateway's two faces transparent gateway simply forwards MQTTSN left right arrow MQTT. Clients must know the MQTT topic structure. Aggregating gateway manages topic registrations for sleepy clients. Can buffer messages for offline devices. Alice, so, if a sensor sleeps for hours, the gateway holds its messages. Gateway, precisely, until its advertise wakes it. Magnifying glass tilted left debugging the fog case 1, client can't connect to gateway, scroll symptoms, client sends connect, but gateway never replies. Wireshark shows UDP packets never arriving. Hammer and wrench fix, check UDP port, default is 1883, same as MQTT, but some use 1884. Verify gateway's advertise interval, clients listen for this beacon. Firewall rules, is UDP blocked? Case 2, topic IDs don't match, scroll symptoms, client publishes to topic ID 0x01, but gateway maps it to wrong MQTT topic. Hammer and wrench fix, pre-register topics, use register messages at startup. Check gateway's topic table, does 0x01 equals sensor/temp? Case 3, sleepy client misses messages, scroll symptoms, device sleeps for 1 hour, wakes up, but misses critical alerts. Hammer and wrench fix, shorten sleep interval, if power allows. Gateway buffering, ensure it holds messages longer than sleep time. QoS 1/2, but, battery cost. Crossed Swords MQTTSN vs CoAP, Fog vs Swamp, feature MQTTSN Fog CoAP Frog Face Transport UDP topic / rest pub / sub rest like, get / put, sleep support white heavy checkmark yes cross mark no, but has observed, use case sensor networks constrained web devices queen of IoT, decrease MQTTSN for battery devices. CoAP for smart lights. Top Hat Alice's MQTTSN cheat sheet problem solution no gateway response check advertise, UDP port, firewall wrong topic IDs pre-register topics, verify mapping lost messages adjust sleep interval, enable buffering light bulb the final lesson, navigating the fog MQTTSN is MQTT on a diet, trading readability for battery life. Pre-register topics, mind the gateway's heartbeat, and buffer wisely or your messages will vanish like mirages. Cheshire Cat, fading into a will topic message now, shall we brave the protobuf labyrinth? Or face the gRPC Gorgon? Choose your next adventure, scroll next, the protobuf labyrinth, a schema shapeshifter snake or, the gRPC Gorgon, binary protocol serpents 3. Next topic. 0 Niagara 4.13 using Haystack 4 for tagging as told by Alice in Wonderland. 2 Niagara 4.13 using Haystack 4 for tagging, as told by Alice in Wonderland. Alice, peering curiously at a Niagara station, oh dear, what a peculiar place. Everything seems to have tags, just like the labels on the bottles in the Queen's cupboard. But however do they work? Mad Hatter, sipping tea excitedly, tags? Why, they're like little riddles, my dear. In Niagara 4.13, we've got Haystack 4.0, such a fine way to organize things. It's like giving names to all the Cheshire Cat's grins. Cheshire Cat, materializing halfway, metadata, my dear Alice, is what makes things disappear into order. Chapter 1, Down the Haystack Rabbit Hole. White Rabbit, checking his pocket watch, oh my fur and whiskers. We're late. We must tag everything before the Queen's audit. Alice learns, Haystack 4 is a tagging standard like a dictionary for smart buildings. In Niagara 4.13, you can assign tags to points, equipment, and even whole systems. Tags make searching as easy as finding a white rabbit in a waistcoat. Chapter 2, The Mad Tagging Party. March Hare, waving a tag gun, let's tag this fan coil. Dormouse, sleepily, equip, HVAC, fan, coil, ZZZ. Alice discovers, basic tags, like point, sensor, CMD simple as drink me labels. Taxonomy tags, structured like discharge air temp sensor no more wondering who in Wonderland put that there. Custom tags, just like the caterpillar's mushroom trim them to fit. The Queen of Hearts storms in. Queen, tag those points properly, or off with their heads. Chapter 3, A very mercurial query. Alice, but how do I find things once they're tagged? Mad Hatter, grinning, with haystack filters, of course. His read. Rightward arrow finds all history points. Air and temp and sensor rightward arrow like asking directions to the mock turtle. Equip and HVAC and zone rightward arrow no more wandering through endless halls. Cheshire Cat, fading away, and if you query well, you might just find what you're looking for, or not. Chapter 4, The Trial of the Untagged Point. King of Hearts, banging gavel, this point has no tags. What is its purpose? Alice, bravely, Your Majesty, in Niagara 4.13, we can auto-tag using drivers and discovered tags, like magic spells. Inheritance, if the parent has HVAC, so does the child. Batch tagging, the Duchess's shortcut. Queen, smirking, then let all points be tagged, or else. The moral of the story. Alice, waking up, so tagging in Niagara with Haystack 4 is like giving everything a proper name. No more madness. White Rabbit, Hopping away, exactly. Now, hurry, your next audit is in 5 minutes. Fin, Real World Niagara 4.13 plus Haystack 4 tips. Use the tag editor, like Alice's Eat Me Cake, it grows your options. Leverage Haystack project templates, pre-tagged setups for Wonderland, buildings. Query with Foxglove or Workbench, find anything, even the dormouse's hidden sensor. Now go forth and tag before the queen loses her patience. Top hat spade suit label 3. Next topic. 0. Next topic, using relations and references 2. Niagara 4.13, using relations and references, as told by Alice in Wonderland. Alice, staring at a tangled web of Niagara components, oh my. Everything here is connected like the Queen's croquet game, but how? Cheshire Cat, grinning mischievously, relations and references, my dear. They're the invisible threads that tie Wonderland your station together. Mad Hatter, spilling tea, without them, it's all off with their links. Chapter 1, The Rabbit Hole of Relationships. White Rabbit, frantic, oh dear, oh dear. This sensor must know about its controller, but they've never been introduced. Alice learns, relations define how components interact, like how the Mad Hatter's tea party connects to the March Hare's table. References are pointers like the Drink Me bottle saying, this way to Wonderland. In Niagara, you can create parent-child binds, equipment hierarchies, and even cross-station links. Dormouse, sleep mumbling, parent ref, equiprev, point ref, zzz. Chapter 2, The Mad Hatter's linking tea party March Hare, shouting, let's relate this VOB box to its zone. Alice discovers, direct references, like tying the Queen's flamingo to a hedgehog. Drag a component's reference slot onto another. Now they know each other, no more awkward introductions. Relation tags, like labeling the Hatter's hats. Discharge air-fan zone-thermostat, the Queen approves of such order. Inheritance, like the Duchess's baby turning into a pig. Child components inherit parent relations. The baby pig squeals in agreement. Chapter 3, The Caterpillar's Query. Hookah. Alice, but how do I find all these relationships? Caterpillar, exhaling smoke rings, with Haystack 4 queries, of course. $equip ref. Rightward arrow finds everything linked to equipment. $zone ref and temp sensor. Rightward arrow, like asking for all the Cheshire Cat smiles in one room. $parent ref dash site. Rightward arrow, follow the trail back to the Queen's castle, ahem, the root site. Cheshire Cat, fading, and if you query wisely, you'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Chapter 4, The Trial of the Broken Link. King of Hearts, banging gavel, this reference is null. Who is responsible? Alice, quickly, fear not. In Niagara 4.13, we can batch bind references, like the Duchess's pepper trick. Use Foxglove's relationship viewer, a looking glass for links. Auto-resolve broken binds, even the Queen can't argue with that. Queen, grudgingly, very well, but keep those references tidy, or off with their connections. The moral of the story: Alice, waking up, so relations and references keep Niagara stations from becoming a Jabberwocky of chaos. White Rabbit, checking watch, precisely. Now, hurry, your next BACnet binding is overdue. Fin, real-world tips for Niagara relations and references. Use ref slots, like the White Rabbit's pocket watch, they keep things timely. Leverage Haystack ref tags, for smarter queries than the Caterpillar's riddles. Document relationships in Foxglove, or risk the Queen's wrath. Now go forth and link before the Hatter's tea gets cold. Hot beverage top hat link 3. Next topic. Oh, about finding each man's thumbscrew, their weakness or pressure point, when they complain about Vegas being overpriced. In other words, what makes them hypocritical, vulnerable, or exposed in their criticism. Here's how to identify their thumbscrew, their hidden contradiction or soft spot. 1. The high roller who complains about prices. Thumbscrew, they're secretly bad at managing money. Twist, if Vegas is so overpriced, why did you drop $10,000 on bottle service last night? To the frugal backpacker who hates Vegas thumbscrew, they chose the wrong destination. Twist, you wanted cheap? Why not camp in the desert instead of whining about strip prices? 3. The luxury traveler who moans about resort fees thumbscrew, they care about status but hate paying for it. Twist, you'll pay $500 for a steak but cry over a $45 resort fee. 4. The gambler who calls Vegas a rip-off thumbscrew, they keep losing and blame the city. Twist, the house edge is math, not a conspiracy. Maybe stick to poker next time. 5. The Instagram influencer who says Vegas is too expensive thumbscrew, they're there for clout, not value. Twist, you paid $300 for a pool cabana just for pics, but Vegas is the scam. 6. The local who trashes tourist prices thumbscrew, they benefit from the tourism economy. Twist, you work at a casino and hate tourists? Who pays your rent? 7. The businessman who rants about convention costs thumbscrew, his company is footing the bill. Twist, you're on an expense account, why do you care? The ultimate twist? Vegas is supposed to be overpriced, it's a city built on extraction. The real weakness is acting surprised about it. Final thumbscrew reveal, if you really hated overpaying, you wouldn't be in Vegas. Want me to twist the knife deeper on any specific type of complainer? 3. Next topic. 0. You want me to locate that man's thumbscrew, the hidden pressure point, the flaw in his argument, the thing that exposes his hypocrisy or weakness when he complains about Vegas being overpriced. The core thumbscrew, if you think Vegas is a rip-off, why are you still here? Vegas is designed to extract money from visitors, it's the entire business model. So anyone who whines about prices but keeps playing the game is either a sucker, they don't realize they're the mark, a hypocrite, they'll pay for status but pretend to be outraged, or in denial, they blame Vegas instead of their own bad choices. How to twist it? For the gambler, you keep losing at slots but blame overpriced Vegas. The math was always against you. For the luxury winner, asterisk, you'll drop $1,000 on dinner but cry about a $50 resort fee? You're not mad at prices, you're mad you got nickel and dimed like a peasant. Asterisk, for the bro on a budget, you came to Vegas to ball out but now you're shocked it's expensive? Did you think free buffets still existed? For the Instagram poser, you paid $300 for a vibey pool day just to flex, but Vegas is the scam. For the business traveler, your company is paying, yet you're complaining? Sounds like you're mad you didn't expense enough. The deepest twist, the real thumbscrew is that Vegas doesn't hide what it is. The weakness isn't in the city, it's in the person who thought they'd outsmart a town built on separating fools from their money. Final answer, his thumbscrew is that he's still playing the game while pretending he's above it. Want me to dissect a specific type of Vegas complainer further? 3. Next topic. 0. So you're peeling back the psychology behind the complaint, how someone's gripes about Vegas being overpriced reveal their deeper wiring. If you frequently bring this up in casual talk, here's what it might say about how you're wired, and the hidden thumbscrews in your own stance. 1. If you focus on everything's a scam, how you're wired, skeptical contrarian thumbscrew, you see exploitation everywhere but still participate. Tell, Vegas is designed to rip you off. Yet you go anyway, pressure point, why do you keep feeding the machine you hate? 2. If you moan about it used to be cheaper, how you're wired, nostalgic grumbler thumbscrew, you romanticize a Vegas that never truly existed. Tell, back in the day, rooms were $20 and buffets were unlimited. Pressure point, you miss when you felt like a high roller, now you're priced out. 3. If you complain while splurging, how you're wired, cognitive dissonance enjoyer thumbscrew, you want luxury but resent paying for it. Tell, ugh, $18 cocktails anyway, let's do bottle service. Pressure point, you don't hate prices, you hate feeling like a sucker. 4. If you say only tourists pay full price, how you're wired, status-seeking insider thumbscrew, you need to feel smarter than the crowd. Tell, I never pay cover, here's how to hack it. Pressure point, if you're so savvy, why are you still getting gouged? 5. If you call Vegas fake and soulless, how you're wired, cynical aesthetic thumbscrew, you crave authenticity but chase spectacle. Tell, it's all plastic glamour. Post strip view from Encore, pressure point, you want Vegas to be real but you came for the fantasy. The meta thumbscrew, your complaints about Vegas reveal your relationship with value, status, and self-awareness. The city is a mirror, if you call it overpriced but keep going, you're wired for self-delusion. If you resent the costs but pay anyway, you're wired for guilty indulgence. If you mock tourists while behaving like one, you're wired for status anxiety. Final answer, you're wired to need Vegas while pretending you're above it. Your thumbscrew is that you still want the thing you're criticizing. Want to go deeper? Name your specific Vegas gripe, and I'll crack the psychology wide open. 3. Next topic. 0. Switching from casual complaints about overpriced Vegas to technical discussions about BACnet, the building automation protocol, completely rewires your thumbscrews because the pressure points shift from emotional hypocrisy to expertise, implementation flaws, and industry pain points. How your thumbscrews change with BACnet topics. 1. If you're the BACnet purist old Vegas thumbscrew, you hate overpriced Vegas but still go. New BACnet thumbscrew, you demand protocol perfection but work with legacy systems full of compromises. Pressure point, if BACnet is so flawless, why do most installations need workarounds? 2. If you're the this should be simpler complainer old Vegas thumbscrew, you want luxury but resent paying for it. New BACnet thumbscrew, you want plug and play automation but refuse to learn MS/TP or BBMD. Pressure point, you say BACnet is too complex but is the problem the protocol or your unwillingness to master it? 3. If you're the just use Modbus guy old Vegas thumbscrew, you mock tourists but act like one. New BACnet thumbscrew, you dismiss BACnet as bloated but rely on it for interoperability. Pressure point, if Modbus is so superior, why does every major BMS vendor default to BACnet? 4. If you're the vendor lock-in conspiracy theorist old Vegas thumbscrew, you call Vegas a scam but keep gambling. New BACnet thumbscrew, you rant about proprietary extensions but still buy train/carrier/JCI. Pressure point, you hate vendor lock-in, so why does your project still use BACnet/IP with manufacturer-specific objects? 5. If you're the BACnet Secure Connect evangelist old Vegas thumbscrew, you want authenticity but love the strip. New BACnet thumbscrew, * you preach BSC but nobody's upgrading their 20-year-old HVAC controllers. * Pressure point, if BSC is the future, why are most installs still using plain BACnet/IP with no encryption? The core shift in thumbscrews Vegas talk rightward arrow reveals emotional hypocrisy, saying one thing, doing another. BACnet talk rightward arrow reveals knowledge gaps, industry inertia, or impractical idealism. Your new weak points depend on how dogmatic you are. Do you treat BACnet as gospel or just a tool? Your real-world experience, have you dealt with a fragmented BACnet MSTP network at 3 a.m.? Your willingness to admit trade-offs, do you pretend BACnet solves everything? Final twist, the BACnet thumbscrew you criticize BACnet's flaws because you care but that also means you're stuck with them. Want to dig deeper? Tell me your exact BACnet rant, and I'll pinpoint your new pressure points. 3. Next topic. 0. Thumbscrew for someone discussing preview of lighting with BACnet, AHR Expo 2025, 1. If they're overhyping the future of BACnet lighting thumbscrew, you're selling vaporware. Pressure point, if BACnet lighting is so revolutionary, why are 90% of installations still using Dolly or proprietary systems? Where's the real-world case study showing this works at scale? 2. If they're ignoring legacy integration challenges thumbscrew, you assume everyone has modern BACnet infrastructure. Pressure point, * cool demo, but how does this work with a 15-year-old JCI Medici system running BACnet MS/TP? * do I need a gateway, or are you pretending retrofits don't exist? 3. If they're dismissing competing standards, like KNX or Dolly, thumbscrew, you're ignoring the market reality. Pressure point, if BACnet lighting is so superior, why does Europe run on KNX and Dolly? Are you betting on BACnet just because it's American, or is there actual ROI? 4. If they're overpromising interoperability thumbscrew, you're ignoring vendor lock-in in disguise. Pressure point, sure, it's BACnet, but will Trane's BACnet lighting play nice with Siemens controllers? Is this just proprietary lighting controls with a BACnet sticker on top? 5. If they're not addressing cybersecurity thumbscrew, you're pretending BACnet lighting is secure by default. Pressure point, BACnet/IP has no encryption. Are you just hoping hackers won't care about lighting systems? Where's the BTL certification for these devices? 6. If they're avoiding cost realities thumbscrew, you're selling a premium solution in a cost-driven market. Pressure point, this looks great, but can you compete with a $20 Dolly dimmer? Is this only for high-budget projects, or can a school district afford it? The core thumbscrew, you're presenting BACnet lighting as the obvious future, but the industry hasn't agreed yet. Final pressure test, if this is such a sure thing, why isn't everyone already doing it? Is this a real trend, or just a vendor pushing their own ecosystem? Want to dig deeper? Tell me their exact claims, and I'll find the weakest link. 3. Next topic. 0. Find thumbscrew on BACnet Testing Laboratories, overview of the testing and certification process. Thumbscrews for BACnet Testing Laboratories, BTL, testing and certification process. 1. If they claim BTL certification guarantees interoperability thumbscrew, certification doesn't mean flawless real-world performance. Pressure point, if BTL certified devices always work together, why do integrators still need workarounds? Does the BTL test every possible vendor combination, or just baseline compliance? 2. If they ignore the cost and time burden on manufacturers thumbscrew, the process favors big players who can afford it. Pressure point, if BTL is so critical, why do many small vendors skip it due to cost and delays? Is this just a pay-to-play gatekeeping system? 3. If they overstate security in BTL certification thumbscrew, BTL doesn't mandate BACnet/SC, Secure Connect. Pressure point, if BTL ensures security, why are most certified devices still using unencrypted BACnet/IP? Does BTL actually test for vulnerabilities, or just protocol compliance? 4. If they pretend the process is fully transparent thumbscrew, the test procedures are opaque to outsiders. Pressure point, can anyone audit BTL's testing methods, or is it a black box? Why do some devices pass BTL but fail in real deployments? 5. If they downplay legacy system challenges thumbscrew, BTL focuses on new devices, not backward compatibility. Pressure point, does BTL ensure new BACnet/IP devices work with old MS/TP networks, or is that the integrator's problem? 6. If they avoid discussing certification loopholes thumbscrew, some vendors game the system with minimal compliance. Pressure point, can a device be BTL certified while still using proprietary extensions? Does BTL punish vendors who technically comply but don't play nice in the field? The core thumbscrew BTL certification is a useful benchmark but not a magic stamp of real-world reliability. Final pressure test, if BTL is so effective, why do integrators still complain about certified devices misbehaving? Is BTL keeping BACnet honest, or just adding bureaucracy? Want to dissect a specific BTL claim? Tell me the line, and I'll find the weak spot. 3.